Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s, we're going to be looking through some magazines, particularly fine home building. Now, you might be a little bit curious as to, okay, Sugi, why fine home building? Well, as you can see here, I picked up a whole bunch of these magazines at an estate sale for $2 for all this stuff, and I love collecting old reference materials. I like collecting stuff I can look through, getting ideas. Maybe if I have a question about something, I can refer to it. But today, we're going to go through these. Most of them are from, well, I think we're going to stick to the 80s. I do have enough to where they go up into the 90s. So we're going to see a little bit what home building was like in the 80s. I also do have a couple copies of fine woodworking. So say we go through a couple of these guys and we don't quite I don't know. I could only imagine it. I can only imagine how long it. I don't know if it'll go quick or if it'll go short. This is just kind of a. Hey, let's kind of have fun, do something a little bit different. And I've got tea. I really need to do better about getting my tea ready before stream, but it's. My water is almost ready, so once my tea water is set and I can get it poured, we can start flipping through these bad boys. Because, yeah, we have a lot of them, and I'm really hoping I can get some good ideas for some outdoor projects, because I have far too much cedar wood lying around, and the problem with having an excess of materials lying around is, well, that doesn't mean I can buy other materials for other projects, because then I don't have room to store things. Granted, I am still keeping my eye out for either cherry, walnut, or beech lumber. Mostly because I want to get my hands on some of those materials. I haven't. One of my goals for myself this year is to actually work with some kind of a little bit nicer materials. So far, the nicest material I've worked with in the shop is red oak, and literally all I did with oak is I just cut the boards to the length I needed. So nothing really all that fancy. So this is Fine Home Building. This is actually the first edition. It was released March 1981. Site-built solar collectors. Ooh, solo timber raising. I like that. On-site shop, staircase renovation. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the stuff is going to be more applicable to home stuff, because, like, hey, we open this up and the first thing we have is this full-page advertisement for greenhouses. But yeah, we got some articles here. So let's see, we've got staircase renovation, solo timber raising. That interests me. Oh, a tractor, industry, and common sense is all it takes. Oh, this is on-site shop, portable saw, jointer. Ooh, I like that. Let's see, 4 elements of designing. Plan your own house by studying all the options. That can be good. The finished roof incorporates panels for quality and savings. On-site built solar collectors. I wonder if that's like solar water heaters. Solar water heaters aren't much of a thing in my location, but I know they're like quite common in places like out west, California. Gentle stripping. If you must remove paint, here's one way to do it. Venting the plumbing system. Avoid health hazards when laying out your plumbing design. Okay. Molding casting materials. Peeking over a flat roof. Massive passive. Greek revival restoration. Restoring an old house unearths some secrets. Ooh. And then, redwood classic. Elegant details competent for a house built of massive timbers. Ooh, I like massive timbers. And hello and welcome, Enzerzon. Very gentle. Well, we're going through magazines. We're going through magazines from the 80s on fine home building, because I need project ideas, and I wasn't expecting much, but I think I might get some inspiration from the Redwood Classic article. I think 4 elements of designing might be something that would actually just generally help stuff I do. Granted, I'm really looking forward to that solo timber raising. Granted, these are just, I like old things. I like old things. I like old materials. And also some of these advertisements are just incredibly timeless. Like portable chainsaw mills, man. Like, it's something I want, man. Smoking out air currents, valley flashing, oh, okay. Removing fiberglass slivers. Oh, dearie. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie. I do not want to think about the idea of fiberglass splinters. Fiberglass is already terrifying enough. I don't need the idea of a splinter of fiberglass. Granted, those do exist. I have gotten them a couple of times. It is not fun. So, more tips and tricks there, and also just a whole bunch of advertising. Magazines have always been this way. It's always just been advertising. But, oh yeah. California utilities to finance solar water heaters. Yeah, solar water heaters are a very big thing in California. Granted, TVA, so for those who don't know, the TVA is the Tennessee Valley Authority. They're a large power collective down in like the South, like Tennessee area and all that stuff. Me and all the homies hate advertising. I don't know if I'm having chainsaws advertised to me. I like that, but yeah, and that's also the thing about the Tennessee Valley Authority is the nation's largest electric power producer. Has developed 11 passive solar house designs. Ooh. And built 35 model homes to show passive solar concepts to home builders, developers, lenders through TVA's 7-state service area. Huh. That's cool. I know some aspects of passive solar design in homes is like the use of thermal mass, which, like an example of thermal mass in a regular home would be like using a stone wall, both as a decorative touch, but also having it positioned in such a way where the sun shines on it. That way during the day, sun shines on the stone warms up, and it helps radiate heat during the night once the sun goes down. It's a really fun, neat way to do home building and to like make a home more energy efficient. But I'm currently not anticipating renovating my home anytime soon. Oh wow. Lumber demand and prices to rise in 1981. Home builders' demands for lumber in new construction and remodeling are expected to grow during 1981, despite reduced timber production and lumber mill inventory levels at the end of 1980, report Lumber and Industry Sources. As a result, lumber prices are likely to rise this year. Oh gosh. And then we have, oh, okay, solar energy tax incentives. I actually didn't, man, shucks, were these even, oh, solar energy tax incentives. Goodness gracious, this magazine was this magazine published before the Reagan administration? That would have to be. If you spend $1,000 on a solar system for your house, you can take $400 off your federal income tax bill. The credit has been on the tax books since 1978, yet 52% of American consumers are unaware of state and federal solar energy tax credits, according to some study, a consulting firm, blah, 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 blah. Granted, the fun thing about that is that was probably a remnant of the energy crisis of the 70s, because back when OPEC did an oil embargo on the US, and there was lots of gasoline rationing and gas prices were very high, which I certainly hope does not have any modern parallels to today. Oh wait, are we talking, what's this? Oh, indoor air pollution threat. Okay, and then we got all the different threats. So, got space heaters, chlordane. Oh, chlordane, widely used for termite treatment. Ah, above grade but not below grade. Although it's a carcinogenic agent that's toxic for 14 years. Oh, no, thankfully we don't have to worry about that anymore. Oh, you gotta love it. Like, just pick up something from, like, before you were born, read in it, and it's like, huh. Things have always been this way. We've always been in trouble. Granted, asbestos. Asbestos, found in myriad of home building products, is composed of tiny needle-like fibers, which, and inhaled into the lungs, can cause cancer and other ailments years after exposure. Yet asbestos products are widely used in American houses and buildings because of their fire-retardant characteristics. Yeah, my house was built in the 90s, so I actually do not have to worry about that. And, oh yeah, so here we go. We have a passive solar log home. So you can see how we have like really large windows here that let in lots of like natural light. That's just like lots of good stuff. Wait, garden way generator, new home power. Oh man, fun stuff. I like old information. Ooh, and staircase renovation. We're gonna kind of skip through staircase renovation because I want to get to building a stair platform. Well, good to know that if I need to renovate some stairs. Oh, hey, look, the birds are fighting over seed. Ah, here we go. This is good stuff. Solo timber raising. Tractor industry and common sense. Which I'm Wow, a 1939 John Deere Model B tractor supplied the muscle and so one tool I couldn't have done without. Oh gosh. Ah, yes. Ooh, diagrams. Give me the diagrams. Oh man, look at this pulley system. So 1/2 inch rope to T, 1/2 inch to telephone pole. So yeah, pulley block. Man, look at leverage. So essentially so these two ropes hold the pulley block in place. He applies force with his tractor in this direction. That applies force onto this, which is then it has two at the ground. That's to keep it held up. And then here it actually raises the timber frame. Then once he has his main frame raised up, he can attach it with temporary supports to hold it up. And then once he gets... Okay. Oh, okay. So he changes his pulley block position. And then pulls that up. And then attaches that to the structural member. This will be useful to me someday. Oh my gosh, like last year when I did the hop trellis project, that was probably the hardest I've ever worked to lift the timber frame, which I made the frame out of 4x4s, actually. Let's see here. I know I I have photo. Uh, it was definitely one of the more challenging projects to, like, raise. Oh god. So, but thankfully I actually had some help of my own, and that help was being a basketball goal. So here is me using a full tank of propane and a brake rotor as a counterweight to a rope. And then you can kind of see the main part of the frame, which kind of looks like a Tory arch. I think at this point it was like about 3-4 feet off the ground, but then that's it fully raised up. And I think I tied it to a log or something. But once I actually had it fully like raised up, and I could tie everything exactly as the manufacturers intended. Hey, I grew so many hops on that. I grew so many hops last year on that, and was definitely what I needed to do. Because before I was kind of just attaching pieces of electrical conduit, aluminum electrical conduit, that I drilled screws into as like tie points for twine. It worked, but it didn't give me enough height. So what I did, because actually I might have to jump forward in those pictures. Yeah. So I reused, actually, wait a second. Right, it's turned up. It's really hard to see. But what I did is I used the frame as a foundation to extend my conduit even further up. So from the top of that thing all the way to the bottom is about 15 feet. Oh, those Pokemon cards I see. Oh, hello, welcome in, Captain Cocoa Puff. Yes, these are Pokemon cards. These are basically just grass Pokemon cards where I like the art on the Pokemon, and I honestly just keep these because as I go through these various magazines, if I want to bookmark a page, I'm going to be using the Pokemon cards as my bookmarks for that. So right now we've got ourselves, well, right now we're looking at an article on how to raise timber framing with just some pulleys, rope, and a tractor. And that got me talking about the hop trellis I built last year and how much of it was an absolute pain in the butt to do it by myself. But thanks to the power of rope and counterweights, I was able to get it done. I don't have a tractor. Someday. I don't know. I don't have the land to justify a tractor. I love the grass thing. Oh, I'm just an absolute sucker for grass types. Like grass type Pokemon are like my favorite. So now we have the on-site shop. I just started playing Emerald and Fire Red. It was a mistake. Now I'm looking at shiny cardboard that I can't afford. It feels bad. Man, that's what I like about the bulk Pokemon cards. So I actually picked these up because I have a friend who's really into Pokemon. The picture of the setup with the conduit looked dope. Oh, thank you. I grew some really good hops on that, and I'm looking forward to growing some good hops this year. But I have a friend who's really into Pokemon, and he's been doing a project where he's basically been trying to complete the Pokedex with Pokemon cards. So he has a whole bunch of binders, and he's trying to collect all the Pokemon in Pokemon card form for this Pokedex project that he's doing. And while he was enlisting me to dig through bulk for him, I selected Pokemon cards with art that I liked because, gosh, Pokemon card art just goes so hard. Granted, wait. Homemade table saw. Wait. Did they just Did they mount a circular saw into that? Adjustment slot. That's got to be for doing angled cuts, but... Then they have a plywood cutting jig, which, I mean, those plywood cutting jigs have been like a thing since the beginning of time, but it looks like they literally just stuck a circular saw into a makeshift wooden platform. The heart of the traveling shop is the homemade table saw. George Carson of Bloomfield, Connecticut, rigged up a table saw in his basement by suspending a circular saw upside down underneath the table. Oh, this seems so skeevy. Because that would have to be mounted very, very securely. Because... Oh... Because if you're trying to cut a piece of wood on that, and the saw binds, does the piece of wood move, or does the saw move, or both? And... Because with, like, my table saw, it throws a piece of wood. It will throw the piece of wood at me if I do a whoopsie. Did my internet shut out on me? Maybe. I don't have any dropped frames on my end. So it might be your internet. So the next article is the 4 elements of designing. Now this is a lot of... This is probably stuff I would actually get a lot more into if I was actually working on a project. Well, there's nothing tricky about it. Planning your house is simply a matter of studying all the options. Yeah. Granted, I really like the drawings. That's kind of something I would like to Speaking of skills, I wouldn't mind learning how to actually, like, draw out plans, draw out ideas. Connection seems fine from my side. Oh, okay. Because OBS doesn't have any dropped frames. So, site-built solar collector. Savings and quality in the panel system that's also the finished roof. Now, I'm trying to wonder how... So there's a gate valve for venting the air directly into... how does this... So, asphalt shingles. Wait, does this go underneath the roof assembly? Question mark? No. Oh. Batten, brass screw, grazing panel. Does this would have to be for like a... This would have to be for like a hot water setup. When I became involved in planning a subdivision several years ago, decided to use solar systems. This supplied the lion's share of heating loads. This is hydronic heating. Okay. Because these houses were to be built on speculation, solar design had to be attractive, simple to construct, and more to the point, cost-effective to build. Part of the design was the site-built liquid flow collector. By assembling the components of the collectors myself, I could oversee the quality of the work, build the collectors into the roof at a lower profile, and roof line free of unsightly plumbing. Oh, okay, so he built the collectors directly in between. So he's got the collectors in between the roof, like the roofing members. Seems like a strange way to do it from my perspective, but I'm also not a home builder. So we have the various panel. So this is the heat exchanger. So the panels will sit out in the sun, heat up, and then the warm water goes to the heat exchanger where it warms up. Okay, so it warms up another fluid in the water, another fluid, and then it runs to a coil that's mounted in the ductwork, and it has a fan, and it bleeds air And I'm back. Rest in peace, router. Oh no, not the router. But man, this is wild. This is wild stuff because they're basically using hydronic heating. Well, it's actually not hydronic heating, it's forced air. It's just using water as the transfer fluid. There's actually heat pumps nowadays where you'll get an outside condensing unit that works like a heat pump, but rather than have the heat pump connected to refrigerant lines that run into the home, the lines are actually water lines that will run into the house, and then they run to a water coil. In the case of a forced air system, you'll have a water coil in your ductwork, and then you'll have a blower on the water coil, and then you'll get hot water. Well, not hot water, but warm air that way, or cooler air that way. This is very similar to that. But okay, so they actually use, so everything in red is propane glycol, which doesn't freeze, because apparently they've been talking about doing this in areas that see -20. Phew. That's just wild that people were thinking about doing that. Just seems crazy to me. And then a little bit, granted, things I really like about construction and different things is when they break down how the assembly comes together. So this is, so we got the glass, we have so there's a flashing cap which protects that joint, and there's the casing of the window flashing down the side, the batten made of redwood to resist rot, moisture, different stuff like that. Galvanized panel, mounting flange. And in this case, it actually specs out an asbestos board. The good old days when you could build with asbestos. You could build with asbestos when this was first published. And then we have venting and plumbing system, which I'd say that's neat. I'm an HVAC guy. I don't have to worry about any of this nonsense. I do not have to play with undesirable things. Terribly undesirable things. Dealing with human body waste is not my job. Ooh, molding and casting a ceiling bracket. That's actually pretty cool stuff. But not what I am particularly interested in. I'm just building up the most logical way for... Oh, okay. So in this article, peeking over a flat roof involves installing essentially an A-frame joist structure over what was originally a flat roof assembly in order to create more condition space versus a lot of people would build additions or add to the sides. This is talking about going up, which funny enough, I have enough. My attic's tall enough. If I wanted to bring it into my condition space, I could. But then I'll have to like climb stairs to access more living space. And I'm a single guy in a 1,600 square foot home with basement. I don't need additional living space. Now, there might be some ways for me to configure the attic for extra storage, but past that, I don't have any interest in expanding my living space. And now we have massive passive. So in this case, they've got lots of big windows probably facing the south side of the house, and they're using these to get mad solar gain. Oh yeah, they actually get into some of the fun details of it too. Off-peak electric backup system. Okay, so this is interesting. This is really interesting. Because a lot of what they got going on here, having these concrete blocks with holes that you then circulate warm air through, this is actually stuff the Romans did. Some of the Roman baths would actually have heated floors, or like rich Romans, because basically what they would do is they'll basically build the ground level of the home like 12 inches or 10 inches higher, and then they'll light fires and then force the smoke to go into essentially what is a crawl space, and then have that warm air warm up the floor, and that kind of gets you some like heating in the home, which is funny because that just seems like really old school way of doing things to me. Granted, that home is pretty. That is pretty. I also really like how they like use like a lot of wood topping surfaces as like contrast between all the drywall. It looks very clean. Looks very clean and very good. In Greek Revival Restoration. Reclaimed, restored, and relocated on the knoll. Huh. Okay. Very interesting stuff, but not really what interests me. Well, I don't know. Honestly, the idea of ripping a house down to just its skeleton and then making off with the lumber, that appeals to me. Especially in an old house, like get my hands on like really, really old timber. Really excites me. It's something that I would really be into. Oh. Okay. Oh, my buddy's having fun. Redwood Classic. Massive timbers and elegant detail combined to create a handsome, livable space, which I don't know about you guys, but I like that. Big natural timbers. Big, just open area. Exposed wood grain. Lots of plants. All stuff Sugi likes. Granted, I'm never gonna... I don't think I'll ever be ambitious enough to actually do... I will never be that ambitious to do that to my house. In so long as I have to work. Because there's absolutely no way whatsoever to be able to do those things. With the way things are now. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so this is good. Okay, so we're gonna hurt feelings here. Here is a breakdown of construction costs. So we've got $18,000, $25 per square foot construction, which nowadays you're more like looking at much closer to $100 per square foot. $6,000 for plumbing, heating, electric. $12,500 for land, 4,000 square feet. You might be able to find that. And then $6,692 real estate commission and VA points. Total cost $43,192. That's feeling hurting in today's economy. That is way too feeling hurty. And it does look like a lovely home, but ooh, Ooh, there we go. That's an idea. I mean, that's also just basically a trellis, but that's still actually still technically like a project idea. So I'm really tempted to. I've considered the idea of building a trellis like this for my outdoor area immediately outside my garage. However, though, I will from time to time have a tree company come into my driveway and drop off massive logs, which makes me very hesitant to commit to large structures in my driveway area. Otherwise, I would be totally down for building a trellis simply because, well, like especially like a big shade trellis, because one, I'll have shade for when I do campfire cooking streams. I do have a shade sail for that though, but it will get busted out soon? Question mark? I don't know. I did have to put it up because snow loads were threatening to do a number on it. Cases of bad form. Ooh, concrete form splitting out. Oof. Wilderness log homes. Buy tools direct at rock bottom prices, actually. So Milwaukee's around, Rigid's around. I don't know of Proto. Rockwell's still a brand. Miller Falls. Actually, is Miller Falls still a brand? No, it's an older style brand, but I don't know if it's still like. But yeah, seeing how much stuff there is for solar is really interesting to me. Wait, planer molder saw, 3 power tools in one, a real moneymaker for you. Huh. Wait a second, I got it. What? Holy smoke. It is a planer molder saw. It has a circular saw built into it. And it's right about there. And this section's like a planer. That seems like something that could hurt. Seems like something that could hurt you. And we're nearly done. Ooh. Wait a second. This is actually relevant to my interests somewhat. So, wood stove. I would like to get a wood stove, but I'm actually probably going to get one of my game plans for this year is I want to get a wood burning fireplace insert for my stove. Currently, I have a gas fireplace. Well, I don't have any gas piped into my house anymore. So it kind of is not doing anything. But I want to get a wood-burning fireplace insert at some point. And I do kind of like the fact that it ends with like the back page of the magazine is a step-by-step guide to building an igloo. From cutting out the blocks, how to assemble the blocks, and then putting on the finishing touches. But yeah, that is the first issue of Find Home Building. And we'll probably go through a couple of these guys. Just because I want to kind of see what we got going on in terms of like inspiration, stuff they talk about, different stuff like that. And if I'm not getting a lot of ideas out of this, I will crack open the Find Woodworking magazines, because there's a couple of Find Woodworking magazines. So let's see what we got here. We got porch renovation, passive cooling. Really interested in that. Low cost large house and kitchen planning. So Looking for authentic period restoration hardware all the time. Granted, I'm also planning on, well, manufacturing a little bit of some of that stuff myself. That's actually one of the reasons why I have the blacksmithing forges too. Well, if I need to make some hardware, I can make some hardware. So, articles for this issue are Restoring a Porch, Baird Mebex, Wallen's The Two's Home, a combination of quality and economy, Large House on a Limited Budget, Passive Cooling, Earth Coupling, Shuttered Skylights, Good Venting. I'm going to actually be really interested in that. Waterproofing Earth Sheltered Houses, Round Log Construction. Wait. Large, round... round log construction, precision fitting with the chainsaw. I like chainsaws. I like spending time with my chainsaw. Upgrading your electrical service. The point of repointing. Renewing tired masonry joints. Table saw molding? Oh, the secret is in the order of the cuts. Ugh. Hands-on down east. Careful designs of craftsmanship in the main home. Custom kitchen planning. Sculptural studio addition. Form and color mask ingenious construction methods. And cordwood masonry sauna. Ooh. Huh. Oh, looks like we've got some fun stuff going on here. Flexible metal cutting bait. Button-up thinning. Save your siding. Raising your wall with jacks. Oh. Using temporary bracing of the jack attached to a pole. That seems a little bit skeevy. And then using water pressure to dig to tunnel under a slab. I like the 80s. Safety wasn't... It was a thing, but not a super important thing. Okay, so we got Q&A section. Pretty good. What are the best colors for... Restoring our old house, trying to retain old materials whenever possible. A few pieces of siding, molding, living room missing. Okay, so nothing spectacular. Ooh, mortgage updates. Oh, an idea whose time has come. PVC gutters. I've seen PVC used for downspouts, but I haven't seen them used for the actual gutter. Partly because I don't think they take freezing very well, and I live in an area where things freeze. Why work for somebody else when you can be a contractor yourself? Because I don't want to have to worry about payroll. I don't want to have to worry about scheduling. I don't want to have to worry about so many things. Like when I work for someone else, all I have to do is just show up and do work. The quality of treasured heirloom. Wait, Quaker made. Quaker made cabinetry. Oh god, oh guys, that's some that's some pretty dated that's some pretty dated home building. Like wallpaper, melamine cabinets. Ugh. Whew. Man, this is actually truly fun. Okay, cool. Now we're up to restoring a porch, which involves lots of temporary bracing, because you want to play with the actual structure of the porch. You gotta definitely be bracing everything, but they do have these really good cutaways. I really like the cutaways when they show and explain how the everything's put together and built. I really like that. This 1937 house designed by a California architect can still inspire those struggling to achieve quality with economy. Definitely looks like a pretty nice house. Not sure how I would feel about building codes in 1937. The electric is probably not super great, but but it definitely looks to be a house that has some pretty good charm to it. Which I do like charm. Ooh, wait, what we have? Maybach frequently found beauty in inelegant materials and simple methods. The front door Maybach laminated 1x6 redwood planks to a sheet of plywood and branded it with steel straps torched from flat stock. The edges were not finished. Inexpensive strap hinges on each band support the door. Yeah, that's a way to do. That's a way to do it. Not sure if it would be the way I would want to do it. Because that's actually something I do want to do at some point, is I do want to look into building my own custom door at some point. Just because I think that would be fun. That just seems like a fun project. So, really just more architectural details. Beginning to think these magazines won't... Like, there's definitely stuff I look at and I go, that's neat, that's interesting, or, granted, honestly, like, I would love to have a living space like that. Like, big wooden beams, lots of plants, simple but effective shelving. Granted, I unfortunately have to conform, and also, one of the realities of the house I live in is the fact that while it is indeed my house, and while I indeed tend to spend quite a fair amount of time here, this is not the house I'm going to die in. Now, if it was the house I was going to die in, I could be a lot more free willy with a lot of stuff that I could do. But unfortunately, I can't give myself that privilege. Which is a womp womp. Okay. So, passive cooling. Earth coupling, shuttered skylights, and good venting keep a North Florida house cool. Okay. Oh, hey, good evening, Dad's old shop. How you doing? You doing all right in your war? Operable insulated skylight shutter of 3-inch Termax and gypsum board. It is operable with a garage door opener. Oh, man. Okay, okay. Okay, earth-coupled cooling. As in the farmhouse, we rely upon a large surface-to-volume ratio of walls to dissipate heat, but recalling massive, thick-walled Spanish funicular style. We want to take heat dissipation through the mass wall step further. Okay. Okay. What else about earth coupling? What else can you enlighten me with passive cooling? Show large portions of the house cooling needs could be met by earth-coupled cooling in a burnt earth design. Two-thirds of the building's wall area and all its floors would be in direct contact with the earth. Well, we're still going. Had some bad luck, probably 2 to 4 weeks until any proper hit. Oh, gosh. Well, that certainly does seem like war. Our plans assumed a stable, cool temperature just below grade level. However, the field data in our area indicates soil temperature suitable for cooling would be only attained at depths of 5 foot to 8 foot. Okay, so they insulated the berm as they built. Okay. For backup systems, direct solar gain. For active heating, we installed a Linux 1.5-ton heat pump, which also serves as a dehumidifier. Yes. Heat pump has been called on more as an air handler and heat distributor than as a heat generator. Comes on rarely in the winter. Yeah, that's Florida. Florida is definitely heat pump area. Yeah, I'm telling. Yeah, new stuff devs introduced is actually just broken. Shaver's I took the brunt of those lessons. Oh man, I'd be scared of water intrusion having my house that deep in the ground. Here's the thing, well, first off, if you're in Florida and you have 8 foot of earth to work with, all the water is just going to drain underneath you. But yeah, I am interested in the sunken home. I mean, I'm very pro basement. I am definitely on team basement, but as far as having more of the house built below grade, I would be okay with it as long as I know the foundation was built well. As long as I have a good French drain around the home. Also, as long as earthquakes aren't a big deal. I generally don't worry about earthquakes here, but other areas of the country, that would definitely be different. Also, just because you're not in California doesn't mean you don't have to worry about earthquakes. There's localized faults everywhere. It would be a very case in point. Oh yeah. Okay, so we got a nice waterproofing system here. So for here, we actually have a really good example of a French drain, because you got filler material, you got some polyethylene under 6 inches of gravel, and then you have clean sand or a gravel backfill, and then that's just going to drain, and that's going to keep water off that assembly. I expect having power and stuff for the lifetime of my house, but if I didn't, I'd be scared of water. Well, there's also like how to run your utilities. How accessible are your utilities? So looking at this assemblage here, overall I'm pretty okay. Okay, insulation board. Less is required deep in the earth and it often does not extend into the footings. Okay. But yeah, this is all really good stuff. Like, you have sand, gravel here, and we got French drain. You got a French drain down at the bottom, and then you also have a French drain near the top. And then this is also just like the cross section of like the back of the house. Like, this is actually something I would really be down for, is where you have a house where one side of it is into the earth, but the front is exposed to like sunlight and being able to go outside, that stuff. And then you could also have like a living roof on the top. If I wanted to have a weird house, that would probably be pretty close to one of the weird houses I would want. Or just go straight cave style. I would be very interested in cave style. Because living in a cave seems fun until I think about moisture issues. Because I could only imagine like how much all the surfaces would want to like just condense moisture. Like, ugh. That would be the issue. So we have round log construction, precision fitting with the chainsaw. And I like chainsaw. I love chainsaw. Logs below are joined with round grooves and corner notches that were cut and shaped with a chainsaw. Lower surface of each log was hollowed out to fit the contour of the log beneath it. This method of fitting logs together yields a tight, waterproof seal. Well, no, not water, weatherproof seal. As long as the logs shrink with the passage of time, the giant tightens even more, often creating a virtually clinkless surface. Logs provide enough insulation for comfortable living in Ontario's cold climate. Buddy, do you know what the R value of wood is? It's not that high. Granted, it looks like they're actually using some, like, big timbers. Now, the question is do they got chainsaw action? Yay! Chainsaw action. Oh! Cutting and shaping for the lateral groove. Okay. So, you do just a thin cut, then you cut out the pie, then you do it again, and I guess you just sequence it? You just take passes? So, so you scribe a line, then we rip a curve. Big timber, that song by Hiddeness. Honestly, I'm just a fan of chainsaws and big timber. An angle chainsaw 60 degrees from vertical, cut 1/4 inch inside the scribe line to the bottom of the center curve. Gauge depth of cut by watching sawdust gathered in the center curve. Remove V-shape waste strip from log. Usually the strip will almost fall out. In this case, however, it took a bit of prying bar to loosen it. Working opposite. Yep. Oh, okay. Here we go. So you do a second cut, and then this gets you a round channel. And then what they're doing is they have a V, and then they're using the round nose of the chainsaw to round it out. They're using a chainsaw as a router. They are using a chainsaw as a router. Man, oh gosh, that's skeevy. That's really skeevy, because so when you're operating a chainsaw, when you're cutting at the nose of your bar, that's a pretty... Bro, where are your chaps? Dude, the guy's out there. The guy is out there in shorts, cutting a log using the nose of the bar, and he's wearing basic tennis shoes. Brandon, what? Okay, so that's a Windsor brain. Okay. That's just so skeevy. So terribly skeevy. I am just raw dogging that. He is raw dogging that chainsaw in ways I never will, because these are Canadians. They don't have to deal with the American healthcare system. That's how they're able to do that. If I were to attempt to do that, I would have to interact with the American healthcare system, and I do not, under any circumstances, want to do that. But we got upgrading your electrical service, which... Jeepers Creepers, this is old, so this is probably talking about, like, probably, like, 60 amps, or... going from, like, 60 amps to, like... 100 or 150. Random, I'm actually really surprised that they'll just be like, hey, here's how you can just like redo an electric panel. All repointing mortar. Ooh, what the thing you gotta do when... Because sometimes you're... So for like certain older homes, the mortar will wear out of the brick over time. And you gotta put mortar back in there, or else your brick just falls apart. That's a very undesirable circumstance. I love how skeevy this issue is, because now it is table saw molding, making molding with a table saw, which I'm just like, Which, how did they get the round cut, though? How did you get a round cut with a round molding cut with a chainsaw? Not chainsaw, but a table saw. Right. Cut 2. Must be made after 2. Or made subsequent cuts a problem. Yeah, but they don't explain how they did that. Top of a table saw blade is round. Yeah, but... So, this is the fence. Because I presume this is... Because I presume the black line is the blade. And that's my fence. Ugh. I don't... This isn't for me. I'm not gonna do that. You will not see me cut molding at a table saw. Honestly, molding is typically something you cut at a miter saw. Ooh. Now this is aesthetic. Lots of wood. Wood and brick. Wood and brick are just nice. Going over it low at a diagonal angle. Yeah, I could see making some like geometric type molding cuts at the table saw. But doing round stuff at the table saw is just skeevy. Granted, I do have... I actually have some plans for how to turn your drill press into a lathe. How to make a jig for that. And... Oh yeah, it's Kickback City. Yeah, like, you've got to really be holding your workpiece when you're doing that type of stuff. And then Sculpted Studio Edition, which I gotta say, very aesthetic stuff. Like, and I think that's kind of what the fine home building magazines are all gonna turn into, is like, hey, this looks cool, and I can look at it and appreciate it, and that's probably about as far as I'm gonna go. Built-in bench. Sawtooth. Ooh, sawtooth shingles. Look, guys. It's Makita. That's the battery platform I'm on. Which, funny enough, Makita actually had battery tools during this time. Oh, hey. Powermatic. Oh my goodness gracious. Like, a Makita 15 5/8 planer on sale for $12.99. Yeah, I've got I will say this, it looks like tools have pretty much just basically stayed in price. Same price. And then Jeepers Creepers, $1,500 for 10-inch table saw. Yeah, you'd almost expect like the prices to be lower, not like, oh, great. Now we have a fun thing. Your home workshop can pay off big with our planer molder saw. So it is the 3-in-1 power feed power tool. So apparently you can send in an unfinished board. It has a built-in circular saw to rip one edge clean, and it has a side for your board to come out of. Which I presume this gets you to... I don't know if it does the bottom. Power feeds fancy. So the bell saw power molder saw is a versatile piece of machinery. It turns profitable precision molding, trim, flooring, furniture, and all popular patterns. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Molding is going to continue to be the realm of I buy it as I need it and just work with it that way. Well, actually, no. Molding is best done like at the router table. Router table. I don't have a router table. I actually have, so. Oh, wait. Speaking of router table. Yeah. I actually want to make a router table at some point. Molding was a big thing for old people because it was more important for hiding corners in older houses. Actually, that's fair. I actually have a fair amount of hand planes meant for molding. Ah, ooh, okay. That's cool, Dad's old shop. That's cool. But yeah, I've been thinking about taking this like... Now, this is a plunge router, so I'm not entirely sure it will be the best option. Oh, wait, actually. Picture! But I've been thinking about making a router table at some point. It's just, one, matter of finding time. Two, what's a space? Do I have space in my shop for this? And the answer is kind of. I kind of have space if I don't make it too big, but that's something I want to do at some point. Whether or not that would be actually good for it, who knows? I still technically have to build a permanent home for the drill press, because right now the drill press is on the flip tool cart stand, which it can stay there, but I can't use the flip action of the flip cart with the drill press on it. You can do it. Oh, you can do it with a plunge. You just squish it down. Use a plunge for my router. Oh, I like that. Thank you. Oh, that's good news to hear. Because then I can just use that router that's been hanging around forever and a day, and I can just build it into a router table. Granted, so a lot of what I've been doing is I've been building stuff as I need to build it for projects. Oh, wait, that's issue 4? Wait, am I missing issue 3? Let's see, what are you? Oh, hey, look, it's a copy of issue 4. Wait, is that issue? Nope, that's issue 5. Adobe construction building codes, a solar mask, treated wood foundations. Ooh, but hey, look. Wait, one moment. Yeah, it's a Peterbilt. If you don't know anything about me, my upbringing. Some people are like, some families will be like really into like sports teams and such. In my growing up in the world, I was raised on John Deere and Peterbilt. That was the type of life I lived. So apparently I have doubles of copies 4. So that means I'm missing 3. Which sucks, because I have... Because one of the reasons why I actually bought all these magazines is because it was the better part of like Find Homebuilding's like collection. So we're now in issue 4. So I think after we go through this issue, we'll start going through the Find Woodworking magazines. Because like, look at that guy. That looks like the type of guy I want to be someday. I'm not there yet. I'm far away from that. I'm still just 36. Well, 36 and also like kind of unskilled. Well, just not. I just haven't been seasoned by life enough is what hasn't happened. So pretty much lots of same old. Ooh. Cutting miters. Seeing windows or doors where miters are used, anyone who's done a few knows that they are never square and often not flushed with the wall surface. Walk plane or rasp to compensate, when it's quicker and more efficient to use the power miter box. Ah. Good stuff. Reelected. Well, reluctant decking. Words are terrible hard for me right now. I gotta say, like, I've definitely been being affected by spring pollen. Well, damn Bradford pear trees. Doing your Bradford pear thing. Oh, hey, it's an order form. Cool. Makina! Thickness planer, 12-inch planer. Oh, wait, they had jointer planer combos. 2 horsepower, 7,000 RPM motor. 16-inch bandsaw. Ah. Oh, my goodness gracious. It would be... Having a larger bandsaw would be such a nice quality of life thing for me. I have a bandsaw, but it's small, tiny. But you know what? It works though. It does do what I mean, it does do the things of the limited asks I've made of it. But that's the issue with it, is limited asks. I have not made any large asks of it, and I can't make any large asks of it because, well, I just can't. It's not big enough for that. Like, there is no way I can ask that tool to resaw a board for me. If I wanted to saw a board in half, I'm kind of, well, the table saw is my only option. The issue of using a table saw for that operation is the blade on the table saw is a little bit thicker than a bandsaw's blade. So I'm a little bit deficient in that area. But a lot of what I've been doing is also just doing stuff and then discovering my limits and then looking at what it costs to expand my limits and being like, okay, do I have the pockets for that? And typically the answer is no. Well, as I look at my miter saw, that's very nice and I like it. Granted, that skill miter saw I have is... It's a fantastic saw for its price point. Like, it is a really good saw at its price point, and for someone who's basically a weekend woodworker, hobby woodworker, gets the job done. Ooh, this excites me. Tools for timber framing. A house writes implements for marking, cutting, and he keeps them sharp and true. Oh, yes. Big old tools for cutting for working on big timbers. So we're still on marking. Hey, look, hand planes. Oh, there's even a rabbit plane there. And angled planes. My gosh. And then drills. Oh, Ah, the good old days of hand drilling holes. If I could find like one of those thingamajigs at a estate sale or something for the right price, I would probably buy it just because. Yeah, I like old. I like old gears things. Really big fan of old gear things. Big old wooden mallets. 20 to 30 pounds. My gosh. Like, timber framing is just like one of those things that's like, it's really cool. It's really cool, but it's also like, shucks, if I were to build something like that, then I end up with a house and then I have to put it somewhere. It says a guy who's currently constrained in his workshop because of 3 walls for a tool shed. Which hopefully I get the tool shed put up tomorrow. Because it's either going to get put up tomorrow night or Saturday morning. Which I definitely need to get it up Saturday morning. Because Saturday we're going to be building doors for it. I want to have it built before I make the doors. So that way I can make the doors to the size of the opening. Now, I've generally maintained a lot of the similar dimensions, but I also did frame it out of 2x4s versus 2x2s. So we're talking about a Pacific house now. Ooh. Gardens. I like gardens. Also, I did plant my brassicas today, so I got my broccoli in the ground, and I have my broccoli and cabbage. We had a pretty rough cold spell on Monday, and I covered my peas. My peas took it in stride. They took it fabulously. Peas are like, who cares? I think my radishes didn't like the cold weather. Lettuce also survived that cold weather fairly well. So, granted, I gotta say, these are like generally fun magazines. Capping a foundation. One man's method for raising wood sills built too close to the ground. Ah, okay. So this is about if your foundation's a little bit too low to the ground and you want to raise it up. Which is basically not my world. Granted, it is fun going through this and being like, yeah, that's not my world. That's not my world. That's not my world. And then it's like, it's all fun and good until it's like, ooh, that's something I want to do. Because once it's something I want to do, then it's like, how do I come up with an excuse to do that? Becomes the question. Because as much as I like just doing things for the YOLO, the problem is when you like build and make stuff. Once you built and made something, you now have that thing. Okay. And it's there, it's taking up space, and it kind of gets in the way of the next thing. So that's just kind of like the eternal struggle. But yeah, so this is all chimney rebuilding, which thankfully I should not have to worry about this, but as mentioned earlier, for the fireplace insert I want to get, that's I'm probably going to need to run a new flue for it though, which I don't know if I'm going to want the chimney guys to do it or for me to do it. Ooh, estimating construction costs. Man, look at that. Oh, it's Bloomington, Illinois. For a second I thought it said Bloomington, Indiana. Framing an open plan salt box. What's an open plan salt box? That's my question. Structural assembly can be a problem when load-bearing partition is removed. Oh, okay, okay. So it's talking about how you disassemble this. Fun math. Distributing greenhouse heat. Okay. I don't own the greenhouse. I do not have room I don't have a spot at my home that just screams greenhouse. So passive active systems link a Sunspace edition. Oh, link a Sunspace edition to the rest of the house. Okay. Okay, so exterior wall sheathing, siding removed. Original stud wall. Okay, 10-inch concrete blocks, filled cores, dark paint over stucco finish. Ah, okay, so you have like sliding doors that lets cool air in, then warms up in the space, and then there's like vents in the top where it can go into the conditioned space. So this is actually about if you have like a greenhouse addition on the side of your home, something like this, you can actually take that heat and bring it into the rest of the home. Neat stuff. Whoa. Oh, okay. So there's a thermostat that actually controls dampers. The airflow to the oh, okay. And you can also so at this point it's also talking. Here we go. Now it's talking about how to tie it into your HVAC system. This is my world. I've never seen this though. Shucks, like this. So this style of furnace, that's actually called a low boy. Very not common nowadays. Typically, if you were to see a low boy if you see a low boy furnace, you're typically looking at a typically it would be like an oil furnace. There are some like old gas furnaces that are like that. Like they'll actually have like a belt-driven drive motor, but that's really old school. Really old school stuff. Modular home, cascading roof panels. Oh. Sleep. Wait. Whoa. Is this? Yes! Okay. This is a Japanese style home. Japanese style timber construction in the foothills of the High Sierras. Ooh. Oh man, that's cool. Oh wow, and it even shows you the difference between a traditional foundation and the contemporary. So there's a steel pin, and then you also earth brushed over concrete grade beam. Okay. And walls for the 8-inch wide and connect to the adjacent beams for the capstone placement. Temporary method. Wow. But now, one thing that makes me really excited about this is, so they've got the classic through mortise and tenon here, and then you have the shallow tail, or apparently they also call it the steel ring joint. I want to try cutting this joint at some point. I don't have, because right now the thickest lumber I have laying around is 4x4s. And this definitely looks like something you could use like a 4x6s if you wanted to connect two 4x6s together. But I want to try cutting that joint. I've seen lots of cool people on the YouTube cut that joint, and I want to cut that joint. Japanese style construction's just, it's just cool. It's cool because when you use all those like wooden joints to hold everything together, it's strong, but it gives it a flexibility to it. And it's also just cool because you're not having to like take a 2x4 and air gun a brad nail into it to secure it in place. I actually wasn't expecting I'd see anything like this, and to have this crop up in issue 4 is really cool. I think there's going to be a lot of good information in these guys, but we went through 3 of these magazines and we've yet to find any really, but yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Sugi is honestly just kind of being a little bit extra because he wants screenshots for thumbnails. Because, like I said, I intend to cut that joint at some point. I don't know when. It'd be ideal if I could find the project for it. Half the things I want to do on stream are like, there's an idea. Now, where's my excuse to execute that idea? You can still get it on the ground floor. Don't want to miss it. The back issues. The first 3 issues are now available at $3 each, post-paid. Oh man. I bought all of these magazines for like $2. Shucks, just having that one article on the Japanese framing is really... Ooh, whoa. What's this? Ooh. Wrought iron straps. Now this is something I could do blacksmithing wise. But yeah, it's a series. Oh, okay. So it's basically it's a series of U's with hooks on the end that you can then drive wedges onto it, and then it pulls everything together. Ah. Unfortunately, that's been me a few times. It's been like, there's dust everywhere. R20 plus sidewall system. Granted, what is it? Thermal paste fiberglass, 6-inch bat. Okay, so no asbestos. Okay. Whew. Whoa. Steel house. That's peculiar. Because, funny enough, some of the areas around where I live, every once in a while, you'll go into like a neighborhood, and there'll just be one house in that neighborhood that is an example of brutalist architecture. You'll find one house that's like that. Not sure why, but that's the thing. Okay, so we are now gonna get back into panel plane. So we're now gonna be getting into fine woodworking. So we went through 3 issues of the fine home building. Really didn't find much in terms of ideas. There was one trellis idea that was like, okay, that's a nice. Ooh, machines. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, my inner man. That makes me so happy. Machines make me happy. Machines that you can do stuff to make stuff. That makes me like incredibly happy. Doesn't fall through. What? A modern ornamental lathe. Oh. Reflections on the risks of pure craft. Sharpening chip carving knives. New knives, Swiss chip carving. Oh man. 5 ways to add color, wood stains. Ugh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh boy. This is gonna be scary, man. I think it's gonna be scary. Look what I found for you. Oh no. A big old bandsaw. That's scary stuff, man. Very. Oh, quality exotic wood. Granted, it's funny how there's a lot more advertising here. New Life Sanding Belt Cleaner. It's on Hill Holiday Gifts for the Serious Woodworker. Oh my goodness. Oh, improved featherboard. Spring sliding bays. Then continuously reclamping each time adjusted with the width of the new workpiece. Oh. Octagon formulas and jig. Now this is probably going to be a thing that I'm going to get a lot of mileage out of. Is just jigs. Wood carver's clamping system. Bolt pins pipe to clamp. Full rest height stop. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, I like that. Plywood carrying handle. Like, I can carry plywood around, but yeah. Okay, you know what? We've got our first Pokemon card of the day. I like that I like that plywood carrying jig. Oh, put Eddie Old in there. Certainly not enough of a project for one stream, but hey, if I just want to like make a couple of jigs one stream, by all means. Hello, wait. Sapwood is usually creamy, but the heartwood is in shades of lavender. The wood is very dense and extremely fine textured, making it perfect for carving fine details or sanding to an ultra smooth surface. On the other hand, its irregular stem forms, density, and dimensional instability make it a real challenge to dry without defects. Best thing to do is pick out the straightest, best looking pieces, discard the crooks, knots, and other junk right away. Cut the pieces to a uniform width and, if possible, uniform length so that you can build a well-organized miniature lumber piles with uniform stickers. Ah. Man, that's cool. That's cool. Like, using a lilac for lumber. Which, for those who don't know, lilac's not a big thing. It's like a... Most of the time, it's like a small tree or shrub. Thoughts on plane design? Man, I am already telling I'm going to get a lot of good information out of this. Periodical updates. Ooh. Rotary tool. Nowadays, we just call those Dremels. This one's on us. Ooh, oh my gosh. Ooh, on video cassette. Oh man, that's a bring me back. That's a bring me back. Gosh, there's just so much of this is advertising though. Like, but hey, look, it's Grizzly products. I actually have my drill press is Grizzly. More advertising, just like tools everywhere. Jeepers creepers. Wow, that's interesting. So the toll-free number changes from where you are in the US. Like California is its own toll-free number. That is wild. And just how much of this is advertising? Something lost in translation. Oh man, that's funny. That is funny. I like that. Granted, I will say, overall, definitely looks to be some good information in here, but ooh, find woodworking home videotapes. Oh gosh. Yeah, this was definitely made in like the heyday of VHS. Wait a second. Find home building construction techniques. Which Find Homebuilding magazine is actually a spin-off from Find Woodworking, this magazine. That's actually kind of one of the reasons why they're kind of like both in the same. Man, when Ryobi was blue. This stuff is the ancient age. Solid is 50 years old. The fence is tomorrow. Oh, okay, so it's like one of those, you have a lever at the end. A lot of, cabinet style saws have fences like this. My fence is not like this for my DeWalt, but my DeWalt's just a standard contractor saw. Nothing spectacular. For a second, I almost called that a Diablo blade, but that's feud. Granted, it's scroll saw. I still see people trying to sell those. Ooh, boy, okay. That's a piece of fine furniture. And also, that is also something beyond my skill level where I'm at right now. Because some people are like, man, Sugi, you just like make stuff and do this stuff and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, one of my issues is I try to do a little bit of everything and I am therefore not particularly good at anything. I don't know. I'm pretty alright doing just straight carpentry, straightforward woodworking, but as for like fine carpentry is definitely outside my... Ooh, but I do like the spalted maple that they use for the face of that cabinet, for the panel in the inside. That's pretty. That's very pretty. Oh, granted, that's a design. That's a design. This is a design. This is a something. Not sure if it's for me, though. Not sure if that's definitely something where I can firmly say it's cool, but I would not want that in my house. Oh, a lidded box. Okay, so this is about turning a lidded box, but this is also lathe territory. I don't have a lathe. I don't have any plans to buy a lathe. I don't have room for a lathe. But I do like the cause gosh, what do I envision for the future? Because I need, so the very next piece of shop furniture I need to make is an actual dedicated home for drill press. That's the first piece of furniture I need to make. I have plans. It's just a matter of getting around to those plans. But oh yeah, speaking of plans, I do have some cedar garden bed plans that I've scoped out on Etsy. I have not bought the plans yet, but hey, if I don't really get some project ideas out of this today, that's fine, because I have those cedar garden bed plants, and I might do, well, the way things are going, I don't think we're gonna get anything too crazy or cool to do, even though this is also definitely like plenty fun, cool stuff. But I will make a raised cedar bed, because I would like to have one for some herbs. So I've been growing some basil, I've been growing some thyme. I bought an herb this year to try growing it. Maybe coriander? Do not know. Wait, whoa. Is this a... This is a custom blade. Spiral cutting. Travel the slide rest is controlled by brass gears mounted on the headstock. Look at those gears, man. This is... And apparently it's like a DIY lathe. It's like you buy the parts, but you can actually like build the frame. Ooh. Now that would be something pretty cool during the Christmas season. Don't know if that's something I would do now time, but I like details. Show me how to make the thing. Oh, wait, making a panel plane? Whoa. Wait, why do I need to solder? Gunmetal smoothing plane made by J. Rogers of Midgley Street, Manchester, England, bearing the date 1886. Ah. He's literally talking about actually building the... Like, this is not a kit. This is building this from scratch. He built a plane from scratch. Wow. That is what? Oh, okay. That's what he used the solder for. He cut... So for the body of the plane, he used brass, because he could cut it. And then he soldered the brass parts together. Interesting. Not something I would do, but... Because honest, I'm not gonna lie, I would look at that and be like, that is way too much work. Squares, their cut pops out the pyramid chip. Huh. Fancy wood carving. Ah. Granted, I do like the, like, how to actually, like, make it like a design. I like that. That's cool. Gosh, that's matching stock to dimension. Now, this is a tool I dream of owning. I dream of owning a jointer. The problem with me getting a jointer is I want an 8-inch jointer. Where if I told someone I was doing woodworking in a 300 square foot garage, they'd probably be like, Sugi, you should probably go for a 6-inch. But I want the 8. Just because I have 8-foot wide sassafras boards. I have, well, not 8 foot wide, 8 inches long. And I also have 8-inch cedar boards too. So. But this is all just standard operation. Yep. It's all just about creating your surfaces. So by offsetting, you can actually get into the... You can actually, like, cancel out any dimensioning. That is... And that's an idea I need to actually consider implementing. And also, hello, Mr. Spock. I hope you're having a good day. As for me, I'm flipping through magazines. I'm flipping through old magazines and being like, neat stuff. Jointer talk. Getting along with home shop machines. Because I'm not actually reading all the articles. We would be here all day. We have way too much time. Well, actually don't have the time. Ooh, Newport style tall clock. One of these days I might try more fancy stuff, but I am by far nowhere near it. But I will happily take inspiration from other people for projects. Granted, I do like the idea of using hardboard templates, though. I'm heating up pizza. Oh man, I wish I was heating up pizza. Pizza seems real. Ooh, wait. With this drill press converted to a pen router, Engler routes out the predicament. Ah, okay. So here he's using a drill press to actually cut out some of the details of the molding. I like that. But it's little ideas like that are one of the things I want to get out of some of these magazines. Also, just once again, more example of people doing cool bandsaw stuff that... Oh, wait. Oh, no. Guys. We got ourselves a centerfold, man. Oh, hot damn, look at that clock. Oh. What an absolute incredible centerfold that is. What an incredibly sexy clock. I fed old Hector food and now he wants more. I can't keep up. Because Hector's just hungry, man. Also, Hector knows you got the good stuff. Wood stains. 5 ways to add color. Woo. Oh, okay. That was actually a little bit quicker of an article than I was anticipating. Cabinet makers baskets in the Nantucket tradition. Well, I have picked up far too many hobbies in my life, and I can firmly say I'm not picking up basket weaving. Simply due to the fact that I just have way too much on my plate. I have way too much on my plate. Granted, looks cool. He does. His pacing is increasing. I better fix it. Hungry cat's gotta eat. Ooh, a bucked burl. That's... Ooh, that's... Oh, wait. Now there's an idea. A clamping block. So it's got a wedge, but it also has that circle taken out. And the point of that circle is your pins of your block. By having the circle there, that gives those wood pins a little bit of flexibility to them. So that way they can kind of have a little bit of give to them. With perseverance, it's possible to become a woodworker. Earning a living as one is another matter entirely. Yeah. I'm definitely not the type of guy who's going to earn a living as doing woodwork, but... Like, it's a hobby. Gosh, look at... That's such an old style of jointer, though. Just a shop. Use all that used industrial machines to give him big shop performance at small shop prices. Dorfman's straightforward designs combine hand and machine work. Although most of his work is commissioned, this wavy oak desk top, this guy here, is a speculative piece. Ah, man. What? It is so much fun to be a guy in a shop making stuff. That's... You need a replicator. No, I need more shop. I want more shop. Well, actually, more shop, more free time. I like free time a lot, but like, look at this feller here. Look at this feller here. Like, Jim Marquardt built his 3-car garage workshop shortly after moving to the Marcelino area in 1982. He does a half dozen or so furniture commissions a year in addition to bread and butter antique repair and refinishing. But like, look at those shelves. Look how even they are. And then he's got a clamp wall over here. I thought it was more cowbell. Well, okay, sure. Yeah, more cowbell. Sure. We can always go for more. Ooh. That's one of those ideas. So, that looks to be like attorney doodles, but it looks like a hexagon? It's a hexagon, and you can turn it around and you have like different drawers. And then we have more beer, perhaps. Oh, I'm taking a beer break today, sir. And then John's workshop doesn't look much different than that of the average weekend woodworker, but the furniture he and his 2 assistants turns out to be as accomplished as any being made today. Man, look at that guy. Look at that guy. Glasses, curly hair, with a incredible table saw. just in like a regular shop making stuff. That's all the dream, man. It's all the dream. Oh gosh, look at this guy living the dream. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This is a guy. He's got all that room for stuff, for his shop and all his things. Like, I want to be that guy. I want to be in a position to where it's like, okay, I have so much space, I don't know what to do with it. But yeah, that is a thing I'm really looking forward to. The tool shed project is once I get the tool. What? My son my son dropped by with beer and primo weed tonight. Nice. Oh, very nice. Good for you. As for me, my next treat is not happening until Friday, and that's going to be Friday night's pizza. But I will be having a beer with my Friday night's pizza. But that is one of the things I'm looking forward to with the tool shed build is I will have space outside to store things. There'll be space outside to store things. So the hope is I'm hoping to move. So I want to have all my campfire cooking stuff in the tool shed, plus as much gardening stuff as I can get in there. If I can get the better part of my gardening stuff in there, then that clears out a good chunk of room in my shop. And that gets me more room for other stuff. The pineapple pizza. Ah, last call for Fine Woodworking's close out back issue sale. So some of their back issues that they have, because so we're currently holding edition 55, and then this is just like them being like, hey, you want to order some of the older magazines? By all means, you can do so. I think we've hit the advertising section of the back. Wait a second, I want to take a look at this. No wonder this is my best-selling workbench. Look what you get for $250. It's made in Sweden. It's over 4 feet long, and you won't find a finer 4-foot bitch anywhere. I mean, I like the fact that you got screw clamps at either side like that, but in a tool well. But I don't know, it might be pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty okay. So I like this workbench. It's okay. It's admittedly okay. Granted, it's hard for me to do actual like hand tool woodworking here, simply because the bench is not heavy enough. But I have since discovered that my table saw stand is heavy enough for hand tool woodworking, so maybe at some point I might move my vise at some point to the table saw bench, but it's also a matter of how I would put the vise on there without interrupting the table saw. Not entirely sure. Not really worried about that. Copying lathes? I have seen saws built like that before, though. Mirror, mirror on the wall, which is the best planer of them all? White Grizzly, of course. Oh gosh. Granted, I do like the bear. My best friend, he's a massive fan of bears. Absolutely massive fan of bears. Oh, hey, look. It's Ryobi when they were blue. Oh, man. Whoa, what do we have here? You can cut it, turn it, sand it, plane it. Holy smokes. You can joint, plane, route, and also table saw on that. That is a lot of machines in one machine. So the thing I don't like about stuff like this is you have to reconfigure the machine every time. Whereas for me, I like the idea of just having, I have a table saw machine, I have a planer machine. Eventually I'll get a jointer machine. And it's nice to just set each machine up for what it does best. I mean, there's some advantages if you're severely space constrained, but I'm not that space constrained. Ooh. Japanese chisels. That's a cool. That is really cool. Ooh, wait. Fine hand tools? And from around the world are now available to the Canadian woodworker. Oh man, did the Canadians just not have access to good tools for a while? That sucks. That's the pits. Okay. Oh, woodworking week. Man. I gotta say, like... Oh, wait. Japanese masters in New Hampshire? Dedicated experience in traditional Japanese woodworking tools and techniques came to the cool, quiet forest in New Hampshire for 2 weeks last August to teach 50 students from across the United States and Canada the secrets of their crafts. Master. That's cool. Gosh. The fact that you could actually like learn from like actual like craftsmen like that is wild to me. Ooh. Holy smokes, that is a fancy... That is fancy. Like, look. It's a car dash. It's a car dash that they made out of wood. Whoa, look at the chisels. Yeah, chisels. Where were the chisels? No, we had chisels. Oh, yeah. Holy crap, you could imagine. Yeah. Also, welcome in. Betty the Spaghetti. I mean, granted, those are pretty much your standard chisels. I actually have... My chisel set's actually very similar to that, but that's just like, bro. Like, bro, like, how much do you like cars, man? Like, that is some serious car love right there. That is some wild car love. Granted, I will say that is like, I've never seen you before, but I'm a bit woodworking nerd, so I'm super interested. Oh, I'm just like so I'm really casual. Like, I will not make anything like this. I am very casual, simple projects. Woodworker. But I always like looking for inspiration. So, let's see. Speaking of which. Oh, wait, there was even better chisels there. Oh, yeah, that's what I was interested in. So, at some point, I really want to make this plywood carrying handle. I am, thankfully, I have long enough arms to where I can carry around full sheets of plywood. Half-inch plywood's not too difficult, but 3/4 plywood is definitely challenging. And I definitely want to make that carrying handle at some point. That is a big, I need to get that in my life. But yeah, so we at least got one idea out of this Fine Woodworking magazine. Now, granted, there's still like, there's lots of good like inspirational ideas in here, but well, I don't know. Oh gosh, that would be helpful. Yeah, shucks, that's the hard part with like handling plywood. That is like, handling plywood is just like 12-foot gypsy rock. Well, thankfully I'm not a drywaller, so I don't have to worry about 12-foot gypsy rock. Granted, I could only imagine how much of a pain in the butt 12-foot gypsum board would be. That would be terrible. Well, like that's just like a lot of length. Like there's times when I've been like handling plywood and I'm like, I'll have like one end. I did that for a summer. Oh gosh, that must have been a hard summer. My hardest summer working experience was I did tree work for a summer. So a lot of hauling logs and just really pushing my physical limits. Yeah, length is a problem, but it's the girth you gotta watch out for. Yeah, because the girth just makes it so awkward to handle. And also the weight. Well, arborist, yeah. Well, I was basically an arborist for a ground crew. Well, I was ground crew for an arborist. I never stayed in the field long enough to actually get higher up in it like that, simply because of the fact that, yeah, I saw a whole bunch of the 30-year-old guys with blown out knees and having back issues in their 30s, and I was like, I don't want to end up like that. And here I am, now 36, and sure, when I first wake up in the morning and I stretch my legs out, my knees pop, but you know what? My knees don't give me grief every day. So, smart career decision on my part. But yeah. So, like I say, this has been a pretty good day. That isn't, well, it's not fun hurting yourself. Like, don't compromise your long-term health. It is never worth compromising your long-term health. It's hard to be a cute laborer, but I think you're doing a good job. Oh, thank you. Shucks. Real labor was last Saturday's stream, where was it Saturday? Oh, well, no, it was last Thursday's stream. Yeah, because I cut up the lumber, framed 3 walls, and sided them for a tool shed that I need to build for tomorrow. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be building doors for those on stream. That's going to be my next stream on Saturday. Probably a little bit. I cheated. I flew off a motorcycle at 93 miles per hour. I mean, yeah, well, no, you didn't cheat, Mr. Spock. You did a speedrun strat. You did the speedrun to having a bad back. I am glad that my experience, well, when I wish to be reckless on two wheels, I ride a bicycle. But I've also done some reasonably sketchy things on bicycles. Mostly riding them in mixed traffic because, oh boy, cars are dangerous here in America. But yeah, so next stream is going to be my whole body hurts. Hard work should be more like work done over a long period consistently, less like work that hurts you. Yes. It is deeply fulfilling to just do, like, set a constant pace, work for a long period of time, be really tired at the end of the day, and then the next morning, all you have are sore muscles. Like you used your muscles a whole lot, and then it's like, okay, big stretch. Yep, that's good. Not wake up the next morning and be like, hey, I just discovered a new muscle group, and the pain is a stinging pain, not a sore pain. But yeah, so next stream will be Saturday. Also, there is a gentleman by the name of The Nando. He is going to be celebrating his birthday earlier in the day on Saturday, and I will briefly be on his stream, I think at 2 p.m. my time here. So I'll be on his channel for a little bit, and then I will be live here, and we'll be actually building some doors out of some beautiful cedar wood. Oh yeah. So I think that's all that stuff. So I'd like to go ahead and wrap up tonight by saying thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in today. My name's been Sugi Yamagawa. Thank you very much for tuning in. Double stream Sugi. Sort of. Not entirely. But yeah, may you all have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.